I can guarantee that this is going to happen to you at some point if it hasn't already. Hijackers are stealing your sales and ruining your reputation with scores of bad reviews. Well, here's how you can kick them to the curb and finally get them off of your listing forever. What's up, guys? My name is Crescent. Did you wake up one morning only to notice that you've lost the buy box and suddenly there's another seller on your private label product listing? Well, that seller is called a hijacker, and your listing has been hijacked. A hijacker is another seller that's hopped onto your listing and is selling their inventory through your listing. Their inventory is a counterfeit of your product or something very similar. You'll know you've been hijacked if you're missing the buy box, you're not listed as the seller on the buy box, or if you see other buying options like you see here. If you click on it, you can see who these sellers are. The problem with hijackers is once they control the buy box, they're stealing all of your sales from you after you've put in all the time, effort, and money to create your optimized product listing and did all of the advertising and PPC to get it ranked at the top of the search results. They almost always list their inventory at a lower price so they can steal the buy box from you, and they're able to sell their products at a lower price because in most cases, their inventory is usually of much less quality, so their costs are much lower. And to make things worse, because of the lower quality, you're almost always guaranteed to get bad reviews. Reviews that will stick to your listing. That's why it's imperative that you get rid of hijackers as soon as possible. One way is to use Helium 10's alerts so that you can be notified right away when a hijacking takes place. By setting up alerts in Helium 10, when the number of sellers on your listing changes, or if you lose the buy box, Helium 10 will send you a notification right away so that you can take care of it. If you're already using Helium 10 and you didn't know about alerts, then I suggest taking advantage of this feature right now. Otherwise, Helium 10 does have a free trial that you can use to test it out, and if you decide to upgrade, I have a huge discount that I managed to put together for my followers, and I'll link to the coupon in the description below. Okay, so if you end up with a hijacker on your listing, what can you do? Well, the first thing you want to do is smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps out this channel more than you know, and I would really appreciate it. So thank you. And if you want to learn more about selling on Amazon and connect with me, as well as surround yourself with other like-minded sellers, join my Amazon Facebook group. It's one of the largest with over 30,000 members. You can find a link to it in the description below. And with that said, this first method has worked for me several times in the past, and that's to contact the hijacker and send them a cease and desist letter. For example, we can see that this product has multiple sellers. Zalik is the original seller, but All-in-One owns the buy box. And if we click here, we can see a list of all the hijackers selling the same item. So if we click on the seller All-in-One here, then click on Ask a Question, then in the messaging assistant, click on An Item for Sale, choose the product you need help with, and then select Other. Then you can send a message to the seller here. Now I have a cease and desist template that you can download and use. Just fill in the info that I have labeled to customize it for your situation, and then copy and paste it here and send it to the seller. And as I mentioned earlier, in my experience, most of the time, this is enough to scare them off. Now, if they don't remove themselves in 24 to 48 hours, contact them again to remind them that if they don't take action right away, you're going to move forward with legal action as well as contact Amazon to have the listing removed, as they're infringing on your trademark and violating the terms of service. You can download the cease and desist template in the description below. Now, what I also do right after sending them the cease and desist letter is I contact seller support and tell them there's someone selling counterfeit products on my listing. You can file an IP claim using this form here. I'll leave a link to this form in the description below. So select you are the rights owner, you have a trademark concern, and choose a specific concern here that fits your situation and complete the rest of the form. One thing to note, in the additional information section here, describe the situation in a manner such that the buyer is being hurt by the seller, since they'll be receiving inferior products. Don't frame it where it's hurting you as a seller. Remember, Amazon is very buyer-centric, so make sure you're putting the buyer first and that they're the ones that's going to get hurt. I've personally had seller support remove the hijacker from my listings on my very first contact with an agent by using this method, but your results may vary. Now, if for whatever reason the hijacker remains on your listing, what you'll want to do is actually buy one of their products. By buying one of their products, you can then take pictures of their unit in comparison with yours and physically note all of the differences and report it to Amazon, again using the infringement form. I know, it feels wrong having to buy their product and give them your money, but doing this will 100% get rid of them in the end. Now, if you have brand registry, you can also report hijackers and use these same techniques to get rid of them. And now, I have a bonus tip for you. There's actually a second type of hijacker where they're not selling a counterfeit or similar item. The second type of hijacker is actually selling your own product. Yes, it's happened to me before. This usually happens when you run a heavily discounted promotion or coupon and the hijacker purchased one or more of your units at the heavily discounted price. And now they've relisted those units back on your listing to try to turn a profit. Now, in this scenario, those are not counterfeit products, so there's nothing you can really do to get rid of them other than just letting them sell out, or you can buy up all of their inventory yourself. They usually don't have that many units, so it's really up to you if you want to take any action at all. Now, if you want to take action, there's one condition in the Amazon's terms of service that you can exploit. This method will get rid of any hijacker and most likely have their account suspended. Now, when you report the hijacker to seller support, tell them that you suspect that they're a Prime member and that they used their Prime benefits to purchase your products and has now relisted it for sale under your listing. The Amazon Prime terms of service specifically prohibits this activity. Keep in mind though that not all hijackers will be Prime members, so this may not work all of the time. Now, one thing you can do to stop hijackers is to prevent it from happening in the first place. The best way is to make your product as difficult as possible to copy. If you're doing private label, your first line of defense is to put your brand or logo on the product and packaging. And if you have your own branding, then registering your trademark and applying for brand registry will also help prevent hijackings, and it will also give you additional tools to help you get rid of them. Bundling is also an effective strategy to prevent hijackers, because hijackers are usually lazy and will look for opportunities that have the least amount of resistance. Bundling makes copying your product more difficult. A hijacker most likely isn't going to go through all of the trouble trying to source your bundled items in order to copy you. So if a hijacker lists their product under your listing and it doesn't match your exact bundle, Amazon will remove them immediately with no questions asked. All right, if you want to learn more about selling on Amazon and connect with me, join my Amazon Facebook group. Over 30,000 other people already have. There's a link right over here.